I was asked to give my opinion on Bachman and some of her opinions on slavery and what's my opinion about it. And it's like, this is really, really, really funny to view it from my perspective. I'm not sure if you're going to like what I've got to say, but what's really, really funny is I'm watching this one. I'll put a link below. Um, it looks like some guy on some news channel. Two guys, two professional guys. One looks like he probably has some Native American in him. He looks a little darker, so we've got black and white guys there criticizing what this Bachman's got to say, and it's like none of them realize they are all believing in the same bullshit and they can't see it yet. Okay, in this statement, she's first of all against all pornography. Okay, well, that is wrong. If you want to see child sexual abuse, guess where it roots for? Pornography. So if you want to think pornography in any way, shape, or form is good, it's good for women, it's uplifts women, in any way in your reality, you think pornography is good in your world, then you love all the torture and child abuse that's on the planet. Because the only way you're going to get rid of one bad thing is to get rid of the cause. And you're going to have to connect the dots as to, well, what could cause men to be, stimulated sexually to the point where they detach their human capability of seeing what their actions cause on children. I mean, it's starting by suggestion. And if we put this much bullshit suggestion, so it's like, okay, she's got a few things good coming out of her mouth that is going to go against all of evil. And it's like these two broadcaster guys apparently are in full support of child abuse and sex trade. Everything that's wrong, that's against women, these two broadcasters are in full support. So I kind of really like the idea of watching evil judge evil, basically. But she seems to be on slavery. And so you just got to understand she's going to view it from her perspective. And I watched another one trying to do some research on what she said, and there was a CNN. Oh, what's his name? Cooper. I like the facts. I like the facts. And it's like, you know what? There's a little bit of history. You can learn a little bit in some of your movies. And there is a good movie out there of old England, of when the law started, where the king proclaimed himself to be a king, and some idiot decided, hey, I'm a wise man. I'm speak for God, and I'm here to help evil. you know, and they created this concept of law and just where the king can get away with whatever he wants, which is slavery. It is the rich over the poor. You can't, if you want to see slavery, slavery is going to be seen in your wealth, okay, not necessarily your color. And if you want to know where slavery is, come to America. We'll take you if you want to be a slave. We'll take you if you want to be evil and be the slave master. This is the land, And she has made a statement that we're losing our millionaires, and it's like, yeah, because what the goal was is all of America, and America does not want to look at the evil within itself. As it's designing laws to fix itself, it can't see its own evil. But in order to make millionaires and billionaires in the US, because it's the American dream. You want to make a lot of money. It's all about manipulating the slave to do the work for you and not let them know that they are the slaves. So, um, the goal is to dominate and kill, murder, torture other countries. And in the process, yeah, we're going to see some, the survivors, the ones that are really strong, that can survive the beating of us trying to destroy your economic system, the ones that can sell their soul will come and join the evil group that goes around and just dominates every other country and takes all of their economic system. They will put in their governments. They will, take over all of their resources. That is the machine of the American industry. It's got a military industry to ensure that it dominates every country and controls every country. And it's like, well, it's, doing that much destruction. Yeah, it's got its hand out, so it looks like it's giving. Evil has to look good. So that's why it takes on, the ones that can survive, the strongest of the strong, you know, are the ones that, want to live that American dream. Well, that American dream is all about dominating other countries. It's like you have made an agreement to be as evil as possible if you want to head for that American dream. You know you are going to support your soldiers to go and dominate some other country where you know you're going to make some more refugees, and you know they're going to want to run someplace, and you know that the only place to run is being with evil on evil side. You don't want to go against evil, or evil's going to kill you. So join evil. So when I look at anybody judging this woman's statement about slavery, it's like, do you realize anybody that's judging her statement is actually supporting another slavery and doesn't see it? You know, all of these guys that are reporting it make a hell of a lot more money than a lot of other people. And so they are the slave masters of the people that don't have money. And guess what? They're in the media. They're there to give you the beliefs that sustain you in your poverty so that they can get rich. They're not going to tell you the truth. They don't deal in facts. Go look at that movie of the old England and how law was made. When the king was doing something, he specifically told the guy, "Hey, don't record that part. All my failures, don't record that. Don't record anything that's really important that we should know in history. Where the Bible fails, let's not put those little details in there. Like they never would." So when you're going to deal with facts, you don't want to know the facts. Facts are never put in books. The only facts that are in books are facts from slave masters. Slaves never get anything in any books. Why? Because they can't afford it. And chances are, so, and to think, so from her perspective, to think that slavery was better, yeah, it was better for her. If she was, she's white, she has more slave master in her, so she will always perceive all of the good things about what she had done in the slavery experience, because she's still making a lot more money. She still wants to be the leader. She is the slave master still, no matter how if she wants to be a leader, she's running in politics. She is the friggin' slave master. So naturally, she's going to see a perspective that everything that she's doing is right. She really does think she's doing the right thing. And she thinks that if I was looking after you, you'd be fine. It's the same thing as Christians that came over, dominated the land and natives. And it's like, oh, you weren't living right. Let me control you and take all your kids away. Christianity doesn't believe in family and how to, make family stay together and be strong. It's what evil works. That's how evil works, is to keep family together. You'll never ever see you pull somebody off of a wealthy family. Some of these elites pull their kids and put them in a welfare or into a foster home. Doesn't happen. The only people that end up in a foster home are people that Christianity or leaders tend to try to destroy families and keep them separated because they're easily controlled that way. Um, you have to keep them suffering as long as they keep making people suffer, which is another statement that this girl made. She wants people to, the more people have unemployment, the higher chance she'll get at being elected, because she will create the problem, so that she can be the solution. Problem solution. When you see viruses come up, somebody created so they can sell and make a lot of money off the vaccine. Every disease is created by a leader. All of it's solved if you solve the problem, solve the causes. So there's my take on it. Is history? Nobody knows history because history is not in any book. It's everything that's in any book is just somebody's opinion of what their perspective was at the time. Pretty sure there was a billion other opinions going on too that didn't get in the books. And as far as slavery goes, there's one good thing about people of color is if you can overcome your challenges, which that is one of the biggest challenges, is slavery. And overcoming slavery, not by turning into your enemy, is sort of like you have the skills, you have more than enough life experiences to be able to have more knowledge than any other culture. Those that suffer the most, if they can find their fullest potential without turning into your enemy, then you have the potential to guide all of humanity into a different direction. Obama is not one. There is a reality that you turn into what you hate. So cultures that have suffered and hated their suffering will turn into what they suffered. So that's why Obama didn't transform into it. He turned into the slave master. That's why Oprah, has this massive eating disorder, because she's turned into the slave master. She's got the money. That is the slavery. Is you can tell slavery all the time by a person's value. And we value people based on how much money they have. You have more human rights the more money you have. So, sorry, it doesn't get any clearer than that. Slavery is in your class of people. And all of these reporters consider themselves of a higher class of people. And as long as you view yourself from a higher class, you will always find a way to justify why slavery is a good thing. But it's the slaves that have to wake up. It's all about keeping the slaves stupid, because as long if you educate a slave, they won't want to be a slave. So the best thing I can offer anybody that is a slave, don't hate your slave masters. Don't fill yourself with hate, because you know without a doubt you are the slave master yourself. Just put yourself in that category as soon as you hate your slave master. The thing is to love who they are. And it's like every single human on this planet has done this. Every American that came to the United States, your genetics did this mistake. You turned into evil and didn't know it. You agreed to either, if you live in poverty, you agreed to come to the States to be a slave. And even those that are the slave masters, there's a slave master above you, and you still agreed to be the slave of evil. And you didn't know it. That's the whole game. Is both sides of that game are wrong. So to get it is to understand what love and peace is all about. To forgive is to really understand that, what, somebody just told a story, you believed in it, and you got caught up in the game, and every side of this has been getting caught up in the game. I think it's a matter of when we know better and do better, then do some judgment. But in the meantime, it's like when you see people doing what they're doing now, they just don't know what it is they're doing. Forgive them, for they know not what it is they're doing. And don't focus on the people that want to play the slave game. Focus on, okay, if it ain't that game, what else is it? What else do I do? What do I fill my days up with? What belief systems do I have? How do I build a completely different system that's not attached to this slave system? And there is a way, but you can't even look at this, because the game is to keep talking about what they want to talk about. And as long as you're having the conversation about whatever it is they want to talk about, you're stuck in that game. You're spending 1 second giving it value. 1 second of your life is spent on the problem when it should be on the solution. So it is the trap. It is the negative energy. It is that you want to fix them. And that's the whole problem. Don't fix them. Fix yourself and build something different. Build your different relationships. Build your different future. Spend 1 second on that and you can build it. 2 seconds, it gets stronger. 3 seconds, it gets bigger. So there's my take on it. It's like they're all going to be wrong about something. There's not one person that ain't going to be wrong in this world that everything's wrong. It's who's right. Peace out.